Hi, my name's Elena, and I am a tube-fed person, also known as a tubie. Being a tubie is not an easy life, and this is not my first feeding tube. Over the past 10 years, I've had 3 placed for various and assorted reasons, but mostly due to the fact that my gut does not absorb nutrients like it's supposed to. This past April, I found myself in a very dire situation where I was down to 103 pounds, and that's not good for a woman of my height. I'm 5'7", and that was dangerously low, and my brain wasn't functioning, my body wasn't functioning, things were going really bad. So I did not have a choice but to have another tube placed. So I did, and I'm glad that I did. As you can see, I'm doing really well. I'm at my goal weight. I'm feeling really good, but along the way, I had some trouble. I had to go back to my GI to find out if I had an infection, and it turned out I was having a lot of leakage from the stoma around my feeding tube. And he had suggested that I use gauze and powder. And those of you that are tubies know gauze and powder is not comfortable. Gauze is awkward and bulky, and it doesn't feel good. Powder gets stuck to you and it dries, and you have to pick it off, and it can make the wounds worse. So I took his idea and I was like, all right, he's on to something. And I thought I had read somewhere about a powder for tube feeders, but I wasn't sure. So I went home and I Googled, and I found the solution. And the solution is this little bottle here. It's called StomaEase. It's a powder that comes in this little bottle that was invented by a chemist who is also a tubie and was having the same problem. And the powder is all natural. It's made of different clays and powders that absorb the fluids, and it turns it into a gel so that all of that gunk that comes out doesn't burn your skin any longer, and it washes right off, and it doesn't stick to you and cause pain or other sores. And that powder is held in place with this really cool thing called a StomaDisc. And I'm going to show you what that actually looks like. It comes in this little package, and I have mine that I've been using consistently right here. And I'm also going to show you this super cool brush called the EnClean Brush. And this thing is awesome for your extensions and your other pieces that need to be washed too. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my stoma. Pardon me here for a second while I expose it. So this is my feeding tube, and this is a Mickey button. Some people have what's called a dangler, which is a long tube that you have to tape in place, but I've had several of these and I find the low profile one to be much more comfortable. It spins. I no longer have any soreness or oozing or redness or anything underneath it. It's healed. I can actually say it's healed. It does turn a little bit red, but that's because it's from use and everything else. But before I discovered the powder and the StomaDisc, which I'm going to go ahead and place right now, after I wash and dry it with soap and water, and I've washed and dried this area with soap and water, then the disc it's silicone, and it bends and it's flexible, and you just slide it right up on and over, and the stoma, the part of the tube that goes right through there, and then this can spin, and the disc is right here. And then the next step is just to take a little bit. I like to shake the powder down into the tip first, open it up, and it's a little bit of trial and error to figure out how much powder you need, but now that mine's healed, I need just a little bit to keep it dry so that I don't have the problem again. And you just lift the corner of the StomaDisc up, and you squirt a little bit of powder under there, and then same thing on the other side. A little poof right there. Some of it will run down. It just washes right off. It's not a big deal. And I like to shake it around, make sure it's distributed. I know I'm shaking my belly here. And make sure that the powder's made it all the way around. And then I am good to go. The next step would be to hook my extension up and get going with my backpack and my food. But before we do the extension, I'm going to go show you how we use the EnClean brush to make sure that everything is clean inside. So I'll be right back.